It's a plan years in the making, one that impacts the future of a Robbinsdale church. Now we can report a solution. A recent decision on the Blue Line light rail extension has opened up an opportunity for redevelopment. As Kevin Miller reports, it could help bring new life to Elim Lutheran Church. But a transit plan decades in the making could put that sale in jeopardy. The Blue Line extension is expected to run down West Broadway, right in front of the church. The project calls for eminent domain to take part of the church's land for a station stop.
It's quite clear to me that the people who go to church at Elim Lutheran Church still want this sanctuary to have that solemn, reverent aesthetic.
Elim Lutheran is a 100-year institution in Robbinsdale. But after a century of worship, they found a need to downsize.
It's valuable property. The size of our building can be much smaller and needs to be renovated or remodeled.
Pastor Dan Dorr says the need to condense the church prompted a land deal. It would transform the parking lot and part of the church building.
We have a purchase agreement with a very prominent developer in the Twin Cities.
Those developers picture a $50 million apartment complex at the site.
The project would bring into the neighborhood about 170 households. And would kind of clean up the look of the block.
But the Blue Line light rail extension project put those plans in jeopardy. Early design plans had a station right next to the church, south of 40th Avenue on Botno Boulevard.
The dilemma there is it would get in the way of the redevelopment project.
City officials requested the station be moved north of 40th Avenue. Blue Line engineers granted that request.
That allows us to move forward with our development. Now, we have a long way to go.
Dorr says the church could survive without this development, but it gives them a chance to remodel and hope for the future.
This gives us life. This gives us the ability to reallocate our assets.
In Robbinsdale, Kevin Miller, CCX News.
The two Brooklyns in our area, Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center, have an organization behind them that works to boost tourism and visitors. This weekend in Newsmakers, we get to hear about it, thanks to a new leader. Shannon Slatton sits down with Leslie Wright, the new CEO of Minneapolis Northwest.
I think the big thing to talk about at Minneapolis Northwest is that we are the marketing and tourism arm for Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center. So we represent the Northwest Metro of the Twin Cities area and those two cities, and we work together on bringing meetings, conventions, visitors, promoting our restaurants and our activities that we have here so that people will want to come and visit and bring business here.
All right. For people who are not familiar, how are you guys funded?
We are funded through the lodging tax. So that's a great question to understand why hotel lodging is so important to us. That is how we are funded. And the hotels in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center give a percentage of their taxes to the cities, and they give that to us. And that is how we are funded.
All right. Well, we were speaking before, you're new on the job, and you really want to just emphasize and capitalize on what's here. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. 3 months today. And the important thing about that is that your first 90 days, you should have some great ideas about what's going to happen. But we are trying to attract people to this vibrant and diverse community and accentuate our positives. We have beautiful nature trails. We have great activities that people can do, top golf, play golf, do those types of things. And we have wonderful hotels for people to stay in and conduct meetings. So the big thing is really to make sure that people know who we are, that people know where we are, and that our residents understand the importance of what we do.
All right. You've had some successes so far. Gus Macker came to town.
Absolutely. Gus Macker was the third week of August of 2024, and it was the first time in the Brooklyn Park area. The great thing about it, it's coming back. So we garnered much attention between the media, between the residents. We had volunteers abundantly. And what a wonderful event for people to come here and experience. And it's coming back in 2025. So our learnings, our successes, our opportunities will be expanded in August of 2025. So we'll need more volunteers to do that. along with someone to assist in planning it.
All right, and where can folks go to get some of that information?
They can go to minneapolisnorthwest.com. So Minneapolis spelled out northwest.com.
All right,
to find out additional information.
Lots of exciting things to come. Leslie Wright with Minneapolis Northwest, thanks for being here and telling us all about it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Give to the Max Day is coming up next Thursday, and the 9 cities in our coverage area have a wealth of organizations you can support. One of those is Spark Theater and Dance. The Brooklyn Center-based nonprofit puts on original professional productions. Its founders and artistic directors, Betsy and Corey Mills, said the nonprofit's biggest goal is to connect people to the arts. Donations help make what they do possible.
Our heart is to build community among artists that we're working with and among audiences that we're creating for and performing for.
Right now, the troupe is preparing for an original adaptation of Gift of the Magi, coming up in December. The Mills also say they want to pay artists what they're worth, while making their productions accessible to anyone in the community.
We really focus on that accessibility part, and then we also have to weigh that with the honoring the artist part, and so then that brings us back to the fundraising.
Spark is holding its Swing Ka-Ching, a free fundraising event, on Thursday, November 21st at Elysian Playhouse in Crystal. There will be live music, a swing dance lesson, and a screening of Spark's short film. It all starts at 6:30 that evening, and we'll have more details at ccxmedia.org.